Building your own house makes a lot of sense. You can become a homeowner for a lot less than buying a home. You can build the house you want. You learn an incredibly valuable skill, one which will allow you to build other homes after this one and allow you to help others to build their homes with the skills you learned here.
People would like to build their own houses, I think, for many reasons. First of all, because they would like to create a home for their families, create a nice environment for themselves to live in, and perhaps they can't find that environment anywhere that exists. There are houses that you could buy, houses that you could renovate, and to create your own environment, but perhaps those don't suit your needs, perhaps they're too expensive, and one would like to build one's own house and start out with a small house and perhaps add to that house as you get more money. It's the biggest investment you'll ever make in your life, and I think that it's important that because it is the biggest investment, it's a long-term investment, and because it's a home that you're going to create for your family, that you need to follow certain processes so that you avoid any pitfalls that might happen, because then if that does occur, it's going to be a very unhappy experience, and an experience where you perhaps would lose money and not be satisfied with the product at the end of the day. So to do that, there are a series of processes that one needs to follow. And the first process is really the buying of the site, or the acquisition of the site, finding the right site. The second would be the planning process and the people that you have to get involved to be able to design and plan your house and get it through council, etc. And then the last aspect is the construction phase, which is probably the most difficult one and where you would be spending the most money. The next thing is to know your budget. If you've already spent a certain amount of money on your site, it's important that you know how much money you've got left to pay for the building of the house, but also all the other professional fees that you may have to pay for. Because the local authority requires that plans are drawn up by professionals, you'll have to pay those people. Similarly, engineers are required to provide structural certificates so that they make sure that the building can stand up, etc. Those things also have to be paid for. So your budget is a very important aspect at this point in time. Other aspects are technology. What building materials are you going to use? One must think about the fact that you're spending money on the house now, but in 10 or 20 years' time you may be spending a lot more money on maintenance. So there are certain materials which you could use now which may cost you more in the beginning, but later on it might save you money in terms of how much money you spend on maintaining the house. Most people unfortunately can't afford quantity surveyors, and quantity surveyors are professionals who work out how much a building will cost. But it's important then, if you can't use those professionals, to speak to builders or other people who know about building materials and find out what the costs of these materials are and what their lifespan is, how long they're going to be around, how much money will it cost to maintain these elements. And then to use these building technologies to create a comfortable environment in your house, which is another important aspect. With our climate, we have a very nice climate around the country, but it differs. The climate in Cape Town is very different to the climate in Joburg or the climate in Natal. So it's important to understand how you orientate your house on the site so that it is cool in summer and warm in winter, and at the same time that you use materials which are appropriate for those environments so that they don't wear and tear badly over a length of